Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jeff Fagan, and today we're doing a little bit different. We're doing a little bit of a live stream here for today's Monday video. For those of you who have been with the channel for a while, you've probably noticed I tend to drop my videos on Mondays. However, this week, pretty much the entire week I've been traveling. I've only been home for a few days, so I haven't had time to do a video. So while I have my equipment with me, I figured I'd go over some of the items with the RED Komodo, some of the Blackmagic news that don't necessarily warrant a complete video for each one, and we'll do it live, we'll discuss it, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. Again, if you guys are watching this later, this was a live video, so if you see this after the fact, feel free to hit me up in the comments below, and we can always answer that after this video. So right now, let's talk about the RED Komodo. So you guys may have noticed, I did a video a little bit, I guess it's a little over a month ago now, talking about the RED Komodo, and I got it right here, and using it with the variable ND adapter. And so sorry for my lighting. I pretty much have everything packed up, so I'm using what I can. But so I've been using the variable ND adapter, and the reason being is not just for the ND filter quality of it, but also I've noticed that it is a much tighter fit on the mount of the RED Komodo. So when I do stuff like put a follow focus on here, I really don't get that adapter wiggle that I do with the stock adapter that RED gave us from Canon, the basic $100 Canon RF to EF adapter. So I really liked that there was no wiggle, but the problem obviously is you can't really use this adapter all the time, especially if you're shooting at night or in the studio and you do not need the ND filter effect. So enter what I got this week, and it is right here. It is actually a clear filter, and so Canon charges a pretty penny for this, but essentially it is a piece of glass, a clear filter glass that you use to use in the ND adapter, and it the main function of it, which is actually why I'm really happy I got it, is one, not to give you any ND, but two, it actually protects the sensor. And I noticed that the ND protected the sensor as it was. So at first I wasn't too stoked because this thing is about $130. I wasn't stoked that it had a piece of glass in it, but then realizing that it protects the sensor, whenever I do lens swaps, the sensor is always protected, especially whether you're using the ND filter or you're using this clear glass filter. So I've been really stoked on using this. I did a few test shots for my upcoming Sigma 50 to 100 video. I've actually got that lens, pop it out right here. So I've been messing with the Sigma 50 to 100. I have a video coming out on this lens soon, and I have really been enjoying it. So there's that to look forward to, but I've been using the adapter with that lens, kind of shooting outside, using actually really more the variable ND, so I could shoot wide open outside during the day and kind of see what the quality is. But the one thing I haven't been able to really see in any of my footage, which I won't give you a verdict yet, is I don't know if any kind of flaring is caused by this clear filter. I don't think anything is, but I haven't done enough testing to kind of give you guys the exact verdict on whether I think there is flaring or not in this clear filter. So that's kind of something we will see over the next few weeks as I test this before I do a proper review on it, whether there's any image quality degradation or any flaring. Just does it help? Is it more of a benefit or is it not as much of a benefit to use this clear filter? But again, I got it less originally to protect the sensor and more just so I could use this ND adapter all the time and not have to swap out different RF to EF adapters, because it is kind of a pain to do that. I like leaving the adapter on. And in the latest Reducation video they did on the RED YouTube channel, they actually said that we can do the sensor calibrations with the adapter on, as long as it's got the port cover. And that's why I actually specifically purchased the EF lens cover for my adapters, because I feel like it just works a little bit better when you're doing your calibration. It's made to do the calibration versus the EF lens cover or a port cover just isn't. So that's one of the reasons I have the red one right here on here. But I will let you guys know more about this clear. I've really been liking it because, again, I can shoot at night and leave the ND adapter on, and you know, at that point, use the ND adapter and get some pretty solid focus pulls without having that, without having a support. And you know, I think a lot of RED Komodo users are in the same boat as me, where the one thing we're kind of lacking on a lot of these adapters and the cages is the ability to lock the adapter in. So if we can have adapters that are as stiff as possible on this mount, that is really going to help when it comes to focus pulling. So now let's talk about the next thing with the RED Komodo. One thing that I never really gave too much attention to, and that I believe everybody should actually be paying attention to, is there's actually an incompatible hardware list on RED's website. And I'm going to pull that up right now because one of my CFast cards prior to the latest update from RED on the Komodo, it did work okay with certain resolutions, certain compressions, but then I noticed a few months ago they actually added that card to the incompatible list. And let's pull this up right here. Let's share it. Here we go. So here is the incompatible list, and the card that I was using, you'll see down here, was the Silicon Power 256 gigabyte media card, and it is listed as incompatible. And when I updated to the latest firmware, I was having issues actually using the camera with that card. So I would definitely pay attention to this incompatible list. If you notice, there were some talks in the various Facebook groups about Hawkwood's new batteries and adapters for the RED Komodo, and a lot of people were excited about their dual MPF camera mount. So you can use MPF batteries, kind of like, you know, I'm using the V-mount batteries on my Komodo, but apparently they are listing that as incompatible. So be very wary about that product, I guess, until that changes. But that's why this list does change. It is updated. So you guys definitely want to pay attention to it. I have a link in the description below to the page. And I just wanted to kind of pull that up as, you know, the media, the power, it's not stuff you kind of want to skimp on. And you can use, not incompatible, but you can use unsupported media, unsupported power. But if it's in the incompatible list, you do not even want to risk that. So again, please pay attention to that page. And so there is that. The other thing we have is I have the picture from Amazon of, let's pull this up here. Got my computer in front of me. Chrome tab, and here we go. Here is the clear drop-in filter, just so you can see it in better lighting. Again, pretty decent, works pretty well. Again, the downside to it is the price, $129. And the only other complaint I actually have about it is this case that it comes with. I'm really not too wild about it. It's pretty big. And I've seen that Breakthrough Photography has much nicer cases. If Breakthrough had their clear filter available, I would have purchased that instead of the Canon. But right now they're on such back order, it was quicker for me to just purchase the Canon. I believe Breakthrough's is 100 and Canon's is 130. So if you need it right now and you're using the variable ND adapter, or you know, you want to get this ND adapter so you could do lens changes, not have to worry about particles getting on your sensor, it is available now. So let's talk about the next subject. So you guys may have seen all over the interwebs, the Blackmagic Pocket 6K Pro came out last week. I actually did a little announcement video on the channel talking about the Pocket 6K Pro because it had some really cool things. You know, shortly go over it. They added ND filters, they changed the battery type, and they added XLR ports. So, or an additional XLR port. So it was kind of not necessarily an upgrade, but an update to the Pocket 6K. But one of the things that I noticed is you would think that when you had a Pocket 6K and it had the internal ND filters built into the camera, you'd think the main problem with Blackmagic cameras, which is the IR pollution that those sensors get when using NDs, would be solved by using their ND filters built in. Well, here I have a video. Let's pull it up, and let's pull it right here. So I'm going to share this video. So this is from VulcanWorks Productions. They got their hands on one of the first Pocket 6K models, and you can kind of see, I'm going to give them the plug here, so I don't want to hide their name, but you can see on the shirt right here, let's go back right here, they are using the internal built-in NDs from Blackmagic, and I will pull this actually full screen. So the shirt still has IR pollution in it, which is interesting, as you know, me personally, I would be buying the Pocket 6K in those internal NDs to have IR cut NDs, which from what I understand, they were IR cut, but you still have the IR pollution issue. So I feel like even with this camera, you're still gonna need an IR cut filter in front of your lens to cut down on the IR pollution. So I think, you know, seeing this, a lot of Pocket 6K owners that are gonna rush out and sell their Pocket 6K to get the 6K Pro, the ND filters that are built in may not be worth it over buying a really, you know, high quality variable ND filter or just, you know, solid NDs. You may be better off getting those if they're IR cut, because they still have this ND pollution problem. But, you know, look, we're not going to go much more into the quality of the Pocket 6K because, you know, it essentially is the same camera. You know, we're looking at 6K footage. It just has the NDs built in, which is the main feature. It's just kind of a little upsetting, I would say, that we're still having IR pollution. But it is what it is. I figured I'd bring this to your guys' attention because I think you'd want to know if there is IR pollution in this camera. So other than that, sorry it looks so weird. Let's pull that out. Pull this back out of full screen, exit full screen. Let's see how that looks now. All right, so that looks a little bit better. So you can even see on these videos, you know, let's pull back out. He's showing that he's using an EF-24 to 70. We'll go back over here to the end here. And you can see as he's walking, you can see his t-shirt. There is IR pollution, unfortunately, on that t-shirt. You see the little bit of red shift in that black t-shirt, and again you see it better over here on this. You see that IR shift here on the black t-shirt, and again I'm just going over this again as I noticed it did look a little bit weird on the screen share and StreamYard, so I wanted to make sure that you guys saw that. So let's pull this out. All right, well, and if you guys have any questions while I'm live, I'm going to try and wrap this video up shortly. Make sure to hit me up in the comments and I'll pull them up live on screen. So let's talk about videos coming up on the channel. So I already spoke about doing a review on the Sigma 50-100. Again, I've really been liking this lens. A lot of the quirks you guys may have heard about. It breathes like crazy, but as an interview and kind of like a wildlife lens, it's been pretty decent, and also works with the Canon extenders, which I have been really stoked about because even with the extenders, it turns it into an f2.8. Another video I have coming up on the channel is this cool mic I was sent by Deity, which you see it's got the wind muff on both ends. It's got the dead cat on both ends, and it is their Deity D4 Duo. And I really like this because it's not powered, but it's got two microphones. You can actually, with a knob, switch to either use the front microphone in stereo or use a mono line on each end, which is pretty cool. And it also not only has an input right here, but not only has an output right here, but it also has an input. So if you want to leave this on your camera and hook another 3.5 millimeter audio source into this mic, you can essentially use it as a pass-through. So you always have the microphone on your camera, which I thought was pretty neat. And the last thing that we have coming up is a program called Dehancer, which I will pull up their website right here. And Dehancer is a pretty cool program for DaVinci Resolve that not only helps with color grading, but it also helps with matching other cameras. So let's pull it up right here. Got their website. And boom. Share it up on the screen. So here's Dehancer's website. I will put a discount code in the description below if you guys are interested in purchasing it. I get a little bit of a kickback, full disclosure. They also did send me Dehancer to test before I do this video. So that's part of the reason the video hasn't been out yet, as I've been testing the program. But I really have enjoyed it, really mainly as less as a color grading application and more as an application to match my various cameras. So easily I can match the Komodo to the Pocket 4K or the Pocket 4K to the GH5. And it's interesting because I was in a Clubhouse meeting the other day and I was talking to some of the participants in there about matching cameras, and they made it seem like it was a much easier job than it is to match cameras. And, you know, look, if you're a solid colorist, yeah, on your own, you could match cameras, but it's not like 2 clicks and, you know, those cameras are matched to each other. But with Dehancer, for the most part, it is that simple. It is kind of like 2 clicks, you know, you put the camera you're using, you put the color profile you're using, and you choose the film stock you want to use. And all of these cameras match to each other. And it's pretty interesting how that works. And that's why I've really been digging using that. The only thing that I would say is that I'm not digging is the fact that you have to use DaVinci Resolve, because I know one day I'm going to be forced to use DaVinci Resolve. I'm going to be forced to use it more than just a coloring platform for me. I'm going to have to end up editing in it. But I am still so stuck in Adobe Premiere just because I have active projects in it. And I just edit so quickly in Premiere, I haven't wanted to switch over. But eventually I will, and this plugin is for DaVinci Resolve. So if you use DaVinci, then you know it's not really going to be a hard move for you, and you may really enjoy using Dehancer. And again, I'll have more content about Dehancer on the channel soon, but I kind of wanted to show you guys what it's about, and you can find more at dehancer.com. Here's some examples using a Fuji X-T3 with different film stocks. And again, I will put some of the information to Dehancer in the description below after this video is done. So anyways, guys, I am going to wrap it up here. So we went over the RED Komodo. We went over some of the minor things with it. We spoke about the Blackmagic Pocket 6K Pro. Let me know your guys' thoughts below. What are your thoughts? Are you excited about the Pocket 6K Pro, or are you a little underwhelmed with the release? What are your thoughts? And yeah, so look forward to next week where we'll have more videos back on a regular schedule on the channel. I should be back in South Florida later this week, and I'll kind of be back to normal, but I've been out and about. I'm still in Florida, but I'm traveling a lot. I was in Daytona a few days ago. I'm back in Gainesville now. I'll be back in Miami later this week, and then I will be back home. So it's been interesting. It's been fun. But yeah, guys, we're going to wrap this up here. And thank you for tuning in, for those who tuned in live. And make sure you guys like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, not only to see the new videos that come out, but also to get notified when I do go live. So until next time, guys, my name's Jeff Fagan. Thanks for joining me. Catch you next time.